So the question is, how do you move yourself from where you are to where you want to be? Say where you are in a job that you don't like and you want to move yourself to the dream job. Or maybe you're currently unemployed right now and you want to start making money, you want to get a job. Or you want to start a business. It could be anything, but basically we're discussing how do you move yourself from your current position, if it's not the best, to the next level, to making money, to becoming a millionaire, to all of the good things. How do we move ourselves? How do we do it? That is what we are discussing today. So the first thing, you must not fight where you currently are. You must not fight your current position. What I realize with a lot of people that I come across is somebody would be, say, unemployed, or they'll be having a job and be like, I'm in this position for a couple of years now, I'm no longer happy here, and I'm just so upset, and they end up hating going to that job because they are not where they want to be. Or if they're unemployed, it's just like, I've been looking for a job and it's been, months, I'm not finding anything. Others, it could be years and I'm not getting anything, and then they end up being upset and not finding joy in their life, and really being demoralized, and then they end up being stuck in those situations. What I would say is, it's important to reframe your current situation so that you're okay with where you are. Because if you are not okay with where you are and you're fighting your current position or your current situation, that is how you trap yourself. You're going to be stuck in that situation, because that energy that you are fighting creates an invisible chokehold, if I can call it. So it's important that the first thing you do is you have to be okay with where you are. Nothing has gone wrong. You are okay. And you do that by reframing your situation. Reframe it, find positive aspects about where you are, find things to be grateful for, find a way of looking at wherever you are. Say now it's a job, and see yourself as a person who's serving an important client, which is your employer. If you don't have a job, then you should be thinking of yourself as someone who's serving other people. It could be your family that you need to serve. It could be you need to volunteer at a local organization or a church or something, but you gotta be willing to serve first. If you don't have a job, then go find spaces where you're gonna serve, where you're gonna give your services free until you grow that aspect. Someone sees your diligence and then they're gonna offer you a job somewhere. That's an example. But you gotta be okay with where you are, and you gotta serve where you are. You gotta reframe your attitude and be willing to serve. The second thing I would say is, there's a story that I like in the Bible that explains this. So we read a story about Joseph, right, in Genesis. Joseph has got brothers. There's 12 of them. They're Jacob's sons. But what we know about Joseph is that he was a dreamer. His brothers didn't like him because of that, because he dreamt that he would be great and that they would have to bow down to him. And as a result, and he was his father's favorite son. He gave him a coat of many colors. As a result, his brothers plotted to kill him when he was sent to go look after them, or look for them when they were looking after sheep, right, in the wild or in the wilderness. What they did is they plotted to, they caught him and they put him in a pit, and then they tried to sell him to, or he was sold to slavery in Egypt. He ended up somewhere there. But he's in Egypt in Potiphar's house, right? What we see Joseph doing in that situation is what I'm asking you to do. You see, now he's no longer like his favorite son in his father's house, right? He's now a slave. so meaning he works for no pay. That's his job now. He's a slave in a foreign country. Probably didn't even know the language when he got there. But what did he do? He worked diligently in Potiphar's house. That the Bible tells us that Potiphar's house was favored all of a sudden because of Joseph. Because he was diligent, he was working hard, he was reframing the current situation he was in. He was not lamenting that, oh, I hate this job, I'm now a slave. How could this be? That's not his attitude, but he did the best with where he was. And he understood that God was with him everywhere. So Potiphar lifted him up, that he made him to be in charge of all the other servants in his household, right? So there is Joseph now. He's lifted up. He's no longer just not an ordinary slave, but he was now second in charge in Potiphar's house. So it was Potiphar then him, up until something unfortunate happened. Of course, Potiphar's wife lied and accused him of sexual assault. He ended up in prison. But the same thing happens in prison. If you read in the Bible, we see that he excelled even in the prison environment, that the warders made him to be in charge of all the other prisoners. So he had the keys to the prison. He was running the show there. That goes to show that he did not look at his situation or the circumstance or where he found himself in and lament and become disgruntled. But he made the best with where he was, and God lifted him up. And that is, we know what happened then after that. He came out of prison because he was interpreting dreams, and Pharaoh made him prime minister of the country, basically. And his brothers eventually did come and bow down to him like he had seen in his dream, right? So why am I telling you this story? I'm telling you this story so that no matter where you find yourself right now, you have to be okay with where you are. You have to reframe your current situation, and you have to do your best with where you are. And you must understand that God is going to be able to lift you up only when you do your best with where you are at. Most people think that they can talk negatively about where they are and hope something good is going to come out of that. I would say you're not going to have any good outcomes from negative talk. So you have to guard your speech, you have to guard your thoughts, you have to guard your mind, you have to speak positively, talk positively, think positively about where you are, hence the reframing, so that you can be lifted to the next level, right? And if you are unemployed, you have to be offering your services to people around you, to your family. If you're living with your family needs to feel like they are blessed because you are there, even though you don't have a job. So meaning whatever skills you have, cleaning the house must be clean. If you're still like a student staying with parents, you must be offering cleaning, washing of cars, washing of dishes or whatever. There's a lot you can do just so that you are helpful in the household, right? So that people are like, oh, you're so pleasant to be here, to be around you. It's so pleasant because you are doing your best. You are running now the household. Now the parents can leave you in charge of everything, grocery shopping, taking care of all household essentials, maintenance around the house, cleaning around the house, gardening around the house. There's a lot that gets done even in the house. If not offering services to the house, to the local church, there's a lot that gets done in the church. And if you're offering your services there, the church will be like, wow. And I'm sure someone will eventually notice what you're doing and they give you an offer or something. But that's how you lift yourself up. You need to be bigger than where you currently are. Okay, the next thing. So the next thing I would say that you need to do, okay, I said first you need to be okay with where you are. Then you need to dream about where you want to be. You need to have a dream, a vision about where you want to be, and you need to visualize that. We talk of visualization exercises. When you meditate in the morning, you also visualize the future or the dream that you want to achieve, where you'd like to work, what you would like to do. And then thirdly, you need to act now, wherever you are. So I'll say acting now is really the same as what I said in the first one, where I'm talking about the fact that you must be okay with where you are, but you must act where you are to the best of your abilities, but having the dream in mind. So you have the dream, but you act where you are. And whilst you're acting where you are, I would say that, should I say 3 or 4 things that you need to be thinking of whilst acting now? One is to plan. Whilst you're acting now, you must have a plan that you are busy acting on. So act now, but have a plan. Act now, but have a monitoring system of your plan. What you've planned to do, are you doing it? Are you monitoring it? Act now. After monitoring, are you putting controls for things that are not going in the right direction or not? Act now, and then reward yourself if you're doing something